Hey, Dr. Aaron here, Doctor of Divinity, teaching universal law, metaphysics, and how to reprogram the subconscious mind. And of course, the E4 trauma method. We teach new thought, ancient wisdom. And what I want to talk to you today is post-traumatic spiritual growth, knowing that each and every one of us is going through a lot. There's a lot going on in the world. I've had so many people reaching out to me, DM me, texting me, calling me, freaking out about all the things going on in the world, all of our lockdowns, the pandemic. Are we going to have our freedoms taken away? Vaccine passports, all the different things with the weather happening and wars and floods and everything going across the globe right now. And what I know for sure is that we need to know the truth through these times. People are talking about it's the mark of the beast, of the different things with having things implanted us with different technologies, all the suppression online, no more freedom of speech. There's a lot going on. So today we want to break on down how to know the truth in the middle of all these traumatic times. So post-traumatic spiritual growth, obviously there's post-traumatic growth in the positive psychology world. There's all kinds of different lingo around all of it. Today, we want to talk about post-traumatic spiritual growth. And that is where we're really understanding the growth of our oneness, the growth of us as a species of spirit. There's only one spirit, one life, one love. And how are we growing through all this collectively? Okay. So breaking on down, knowing that all of life is for our growth. You know, there's the metaphor of the oak tree, and the oak tree is the tree of life, this tree of life that's growing, that is transforming, that is expressing, that is doing all of its oneness, taking in and growing and all the stuff it does. It produces oxygen, all that stuff. And we have to recognize that this oak tree will never be, hundreds of years old without the storms that come along that demand the oak tree's roots to go deeper and deeper and stabilize it more and more. And the truth is that if there were no storms, then the oak tree might not grow very big. It will just kind of, maybe just, it will be whatever it is. With the storms, the oak tree becomes strong. It has to build that oak, that strong wood. It has to build those roots. And this is what we're doing right now. This is what God, your higher self, the universe, it doesn't matter what you want to call it, consciousness is doing right now. And we have to recognize that truth prevails always. We are not these bodies. We're not this 3D realm. We are the creators of this 3D realm. We're the creators of our experience of this. And so we have to stay in faith, even though we may be waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning freaking out. Okay. So I know this very well myself because I've questioned and gone, why is it that I can be a woman of faith and know the truth of who I am, and yet have times when I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, like, ooh, there's some anxiety going, what is happening, right? It's because we're one. A lot of times when you go to sleep, your consciousness will open up and you go into the collective, and the collective has a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. And so you can't be delusional and think that you can overcome that. We're one. So we have to learn how to deal with those emotions that are coming in, whether projecting from our own limited beliefs into our perspective, or whether it's through the collective that we're coming together. So we have to recognize that we're going to be going through, so we're going through a lot. We're going through traumas right now collectively, and that there will be a post-traumatic spiritual growth. What will that be? That will be, we will only survive if we come together, if we collaborate, if we honor all the truths and we synergize. Otherwise, we will take ourselves out of this life. Okay. There's only one life, but we'll take ourselves out as how we are being expressed. Okay. It's our responsibility collectively that we have created even the virus. It's our conscious collectively that has created the toxins in the world that are creating the environmental things, right? We are one. We've created the cosmos. This is the truth. So how do we have to know this? What do we do to get our mind right here and right now? Because we were like, I can't take responsibility for all that. That's like way too much. But what we can do is get our mind right now. And one of the lies, one of the kind of pitfalls of the positive movement is thinking that we should always be positive. And don't get me wrong, we know from a metaphysical standpoint and from science of mind and from unity and from all the metaphysics, we know that what we focus on expands. So if we focus on negativity, we'll get more of what we don't want. If we focus on what we do want, then we'll get more of what we do want. But we have to know that we can't just pretend to be positive when we're feeling negative. So what do? We want to transmute the negative energy. Okay. So whenever we're feeling negative, whenever we're feeling whatever, right? So there's been times through this entire thing, I've woken up and be like, whoa, I'm feeling some anxiety. I feel a little bit down. Let me get my mind right. Okay. So it's not like, let me get positive. Let me fully feel this emotion. So the secret and the trick is kind of twofold for all negative emotions. One, of course, you want to do your trauma work, and that is not in this video. You want to look at the other videos around E4 trauma method and how to really release, neutralize, and release the limited beliefs around your trauma. So you want to always do the E4 trauma method first, so you can deal with that. But if there's current things going on, that means we're in the collective. That means we're dealing with the limited beliefs and the trauma of the collective. So how do we deal with that? Well, we've got to go in and really fully feel the emotion. And we're doing almost a similar thing to the E4 trauma method, just with the collective. So if I wake up and I'm feeling stressed out, or I feel a little down or overwhelmed or whatever it may be, I go straight into my daily spiritual practice. I go straight into processing, self-processing myself, okay? And I'm going to go into that emotion, fully feel the emotion. We call it an upset worksheet. And we begin to talk about we begin to express what we're upset about over and over again, okay? So say it's about, being locked down, right? I would express like, what are you upset about? I'm upset about being locked down because I feel like I'm, being trapped in a jail cell. What are you upset about? I'm upset because I, just feel frustrated. I feel lonely. I feel whatever it is. What do you feel upset about? I feel like it's never going to end. I feel, all these things, right? And we want to fully feel it without putting meaning around it, but just fully express it, not trying to fix it, not to change it, just fully feeling it, expressing it, acknowledging it, feeling that sadness, feeling that loneliness, feeling whatever it is without meaning. Okay, because the meaning on your emotions will actually persist the emotions because it's judging it, making it wrong, and making it a divided story. We want to fully feel the emotion without putting any meaning on it, fully feeling, as the Vedas say, as is in that emotion. And when we fully feel it, acknowledge it, then it just begins to dissipate. It just begins to go out. And it's like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden it's been transmuted and transformed into a wisdom, into an inspired action. The inspired action, like I went into this the other day, I was feeling a little sad, a little frustrated, a little lonely, in the house a little bit too much, on Zoom too much, right? I began to transmute that energy, and you're like, oh, my truth is I need to get out more often into Mother Nature. I need to get out more into being, out of my entire environment for at least a day out of the week, whatever it may be. So what came out of that negative emotion is my truth. So negative emotions are working for us and not against us. It's working for us to birth our truth, okay? And we have to know that that's the same with an oak tree. An oak tree will never become the powerful oak tree it is without resistance. It will never become its highest version without the storms. And the same thing is happening to you. There is an intelligence in this world. It's your higher self. It's divine. It's source. It's spirit. It's God. It is that essence of your true self. And it is working for you to become the highest version of yourself. So we have to trust that the stress you're going under, the fears you're going under, if you use that instead of being used by it, the effect of your emotions, if you use your emotion, you use all this stuff to birth your truth. That doesn't mean you sit back and you don't do anything. It means you take divine inspired action. And you become somebody that you didn't even know you could be. You get out of your comfort zone. There's a blessing in what we're going through. And we know that for every blessing, there is a curse. And for every curse, there's a blessing. This is the paradox of life. And this is the beauty of this relative experience called life. And so I know that no matter what you're going through, no matter stress, no matter anxiety, no matter if you can't pay your bills, no matter what's going on, that you feel those feelings. Don't suppress them. A lot of people just take more drugs, take more alcohol, get more porn, get more in the next dysfunctional. They're going to do anything they can to actually not deal and be with their emotions. In the silence, there is truth, right? Go in the silence, and know I am. Remember, as you go in the silence, every truth, every wisdom, every intelligence will be whispered onto you. You have the answers. You are divine inside of you. Listen, listen, listen to those emotions. They're demanding you. They want to be heard. They have something to tell you. They have something to teach you. Listen to your emotions and go and be with the emotions. Don't try and figure out your emotions. Don't try and analyze your emotions. Don't try and put meaning on your emotions. Feel the emotions. And in feeling the emotions, you grow exponentially. The oak tree has to be with the storm, and it struggles and it strives, and it demands the fifth finger of the oak tree, right? We birthed the fifth finger. We created the fifth finger because we demanded, we needed it to survive. The oak tree will survive because it will put its roots further and further down. And just like you, in the strength, in the struggle, in the fear, you have to put your roots down more into truth and remember who you are. And in that, you become unshakable. You become somebody that can handle anything. You become somebody that is the strength. You become the leader. You become that woman or that man that you've always desired to be. Thank you. I go into gratitude now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We go into post-traumatic growth, spiritual growth. We know that right now. Thank you. As we go into gratitude, thank you for the suffering. Thank you for the fear. Thank you for the insanity happening on this planet. Thank you for all this insane things, all the energy, because it's demanding me to know the truth, to become and birth somebody who's going to be the difference, who's going to be the impact of the world. Right? That's the truth. You have a great purpose. You have a calling. You are that great oak tree. You are the one that prevail. There is only life. You cannot die. You cannot, it's impossible. You might transition from this body. You will never die. We have gone through times of famine. We've gone through ice age. Life does not stop lifing. We are source. We are infinite. We are immortal. This is a masterclass called life, and life is demanding for you to grow. You are either going to grow or life is going to demand it from you. The choice is yours. And so on that note, I just say thank you for post-traumatic growth, spiritual growth. And I recognize our spiritual growth is recognizing it's all one thing going on. It's not just about me growing, it's about everyone growing. It's our oneness, our unity, our divinity. And so I just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. May we know the truth as together we say, and so it is. Okay, guys, so share this out with somebody who you know is stressed or really having anxiety around everything. Know the truth, do your spiritual mind treatment, do your spiritual mind prayers, do your E4 trauma method, get your mind right every day, and go within to the silence and reveal thyself. Have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth. This is Dr. Erin, Dr. Divinity. You can check out and get trained in development of this work, becoming a spiritual warrior, becoming a E4 trauma method coach, and so on and so forth. You can go to soulsociety.com. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff. Super important to support, and I appreciate you guys so much.